The stars were silent, cold, empty, but not tonight. High above a dead planet, a Galari warship floated, broken and burning. Smoke filled the bridge. Sparks jumped from broken screens. Fires glowed red behind the walls. Alien bodies, Galari, soldiers, lay still on the floor. Commander Veal, a tall, thin Galari with silver skin and 4 glowing eyes, sat in the center. Blood dripped from a wound on his chest. His breathing was slow, painful, but his hands still worked. He typed something into a dark screen, something forbidden. To any Deathworlders, please respond. We need help. The Varkon swarm is coming. All Galari systems are falling. Our weapons are useless. Our leaders are dead. He paused. His hand shook. They said not to contact you. They called you monsters. But I think we were wrong. He hit send at a bright red warning flashed on the screen. Transmission to Earth Exile Zone sent. Then the power died. Far away, on a small human outpost called Black Rock, a soldier named Juno Park heard the signal. She sat alone in the comms room, drinking recycled coffee and watching space. She looked bored until the alert beeped. She frowned and checked the source. Galari, she whispered. They don't talk to us, ever. She read the message twice. Then again. Her face turned serious. She pressed a button. Minutes later, Commander Reyes, leader of Black Rock, stood in front of a giant screen. He was tall, strong, and scarred. His eyes were cold but sharp. A man who had seen too many wars. Behind him stood his team, soldiers, engineers, and scientists. All of them were Deathworlders, humans born on Earth, the most dangerous planet ever discovered. He read the message out loud. When he finished, the room was quiet. Sir, Juno said, this could be a trap. Maybe, Reyes said. But the Galari don't lie. They just don't speak to us at all. For 200 years they ignored us like we were animals. Now they want help? One soldier said. Now, when they're losing? Reyes didn't answer. He looked at the IO stars outside the window. He spoke slowly. They called us violent. Said we were too wild, too broken. Said Earth was a death world and humans were a mistake. He turned back to the team. Well, maybe we are. But we're also survivors. He looked at the screen. Again. This might be our way back. Meanwhile, in deep space, the Varkon swarm spread like fire. Huge black ships shaped like insects flew from system to system. They did not talk. They did not ask. They only attacked. Planets fell. Cities burned. Whole species disappeared. The Galari, once proud rulers of 5 galaxies, now begged for help. But no one came. No one. Except the Deathworlders. Commander Reyes called a meeting of the Council of Deathworlders. These were human leaders from old Earth war clans. Some wore armor, others wore lab coats. All were dangerous. Reyes stood before them and played the Galari message. When it ended, a silence filled the room. Then an old woman spoke. Her name was Mother Yara, leader of the Arctic Division. So, the cowards want monsters to fight for them now? Another General Singh laughed. They feared us. Now they need us. They called us animals, one said. Reyes raised a hand. They were right. We are animals, but we're smart ones, and we never forget. He walked to the center. This is not about helping them. This is about showing them who we are. We fight the swarm not to save the Galari, but to prove something. Prove what? Someone asked. Reyes smiled. A cold human smile. That they made the biggest mistake in galactic history. When they exiled Earth. That night, the Deathworlders began to prepare. Old warships were pulled from deep hangars. Soldiers trained, harder than ever. New weapons, forbidden ones, were activated. Machines with names like Godsplitter and Voidhammer. A message was sent back to the Galari. It was only one sentence. We're coming. Prepare to be surprised. In a quiet part of space on a damaged Galari ship, Commander Veal lay dying. But as his ship's systems faded, One small green light blinked on his screen. Response received. He smiled, and for the first time in years the galaxy felt fear and hope at the same time. Because the Deathworlders were coming, and they always finished what they started. HFY Sci-Fi, HFY Sci-Fi. Channel The Dark Side of the Moon was silent until the humans woke up. In a massive underground base called Fort Iron Deep, thousands of soldiers moved. Heavy boots marched. Robots lifted old machines. Ships were refueled. Weapons once banned by every alien law were cleaned and checked. The Deathworlders were waking, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. Commander Reyes stood in the command tower. He watched the giant hangars below. One ship caught his eye. The Hammerclaw, a warship built with human steel and alien bones. Beside him stood Sergeant Tara Voss, one of the most dangerous soldiers ever born on Earth. Her eyes were sharp. Her left arm was metal. Her blood had been changed in a lab so she could survive things that killed normal people in seconds. "Sir," she said, "the troops are ready. Just say the word." Reyes nodded slowly. "The Gallery think we're monsters. Let's show them what kind of monsters we really are." On the other side of the galaxy, the Gallery waited nervously. A small group of leaders sat inside a golden chamber deep in a space station called Hopewell Prime. They watched a hologram of the human response. Just one line: "We're coming. Prepare to be surprised." The Galari leader, High Scholar Aruk, wrinkled, his soft blue-gray skin in fear. "Why did we contact them?" he whispered. "They are Deathworlders. They do not fight with rules, they burn everything." His assistant, Xylar, spoke quietly. "We have no choice, High Scholar. The swarm is almost here. Our fleets are broken. And we started this. We pushed Earth away." There was silence. Then Aruk asked a strange question. "Are they even still human?" Back at Fort Iron Deep, Reyes gave his team their final orders. Tara would lead the first team to meet the Galari and begin the alliance, if there was one. Reyes gave her a small silver device. "If they betray you," he said, "press this. We'll come for you, and we won't knock." Tara smiled. "Understood." She turned to her squad, 5 other Deathworlders, each with a different skill: a sniper, a hacker, a close combat specialist, a medic, and a demolitions expert. Together, they were known as Black Star 6. They boarded a stealth ship and vanished into space. Hours later, the Galari saw something strange appear near their station. A black ship, silent and fast, shaped like a spear. Galari. Guards raised their weapons. But it was too late. The ship docked, and out stepped Tara and her team. The Galari stared in fear. The humans wore dark armor. Their faces were hard. Their eyes scanned everything, like hunters. Tara stepped forward and spoke in simple galactic common. "We're here to talk or fight. Your choice." Inside the chamber, the Galari leaders watched the humans on screen. "They are so calm," one said. "No," said Xylar, watching Tara closely. "They're not calm. They're focused. There's a difference. Calm creatures don't prepare for war like that." High Scholar Aruk took a deep breath. "Bring them in." Tara entered the chamber. She did not bow. She did not smile. "You asked for help," she said. "We're here. What do you need?" Aruk looked nervous. He pointed to a large screen showing star maps. "The swarm is heading to our core worlds. We need your strength, your tactics, your madness." Tara raised an eyebrow. "And what do we get in return?" The room went quiet. Finally, Aruk said, "A seat in the Galactic Council, full rights for Earth, an apology." Tara looked at her team, then back at Aruk. "Keep your seat. Keep your apology. We don't want power. We want respect. And if we don't, get it." She pulled out a small device and tossed it on the table. It showed footage of Deathworlder battles. Brutal, precise, unstoppable. "You'll learn the hard way why you were right to fear us." Back on Earth, Reyes got the update. Terra has control, Juno reported. The Galari agreed to cooperate. Reyes smiled, but not with joy. It was the smile of a man who knew the storm was just starting. Good, he said. Now we make plans. The Varkon swarm won't wait, and neither will we. But far away, hidden in the dark void of space, something else was watching. Inside a massive bio-ship, covered in living armor, the Varkon hive mind stirred. It felt a new presence in the galaxy. It felt fear for the first time in centuries, and it whispered through the stars. The Deathworlders have returned. Change has begun. The war had changed. It was no longer about ships and lasers. Now, it was about flesh. Commander Reyes stood inside the war room. A large screen showed images of the Varkon swarm, creatures made of black bone, red eyes, and living metal. They didn't use machines, they were the machines. The Galari scientists spoke quickly. We've studied their bodies. They are part animal, part fungus, part weapon, and they're changing. Changing how? Reyes asked. They are adapting. Every time we hit them, they learn. But we found one weakness. The room went silent. The scientist pointed to a strange cell on the screen. This part, a soft membrane deep inside the brain core. If we destroy that, the whole creature dies instantly. And why hasn't anyone done it? Reyes asked. Because to reach it, someone must get inside a living Varkon. No drone can survive. No Galari can handle the environment. There was only one option. A Deathworlder. Sergeant Tara Voss stood alone in the testing lab. Her armor was off. Wires were connected to her body. A strange clear fluid flowed through tubes into her blood. Reyes entered. You sure about this? He asked. She didn't look at him. I volunteered. No one else can survive it. You know that. He nodded. They're changing you, making you more resistant, but there's a risk. If you go too deep, you might not come back the same. Tara smiled, but her eyes were hard. I've never been the same, sir. Earth made sure of that. The next day, Tara entered the drop pod. It was small, black and sharp, designed to pierce a living Varkon hive ship. Her squad watched her go. None said goodbye. They didn't need to. Deathworlders didn't fear death. They respected it. The pod launched. It flew across space like a bullet. Deep in the Varkon swarm, a massive hive ship moved toward a Galari colony. It looked like a moon, black, pulsing, alive. Then something hit its side. The pod. It drilled into the outer shell. Then stopped. Inside, Tara opened her eyes. Her helmet lights flickered. The air was hot, thick, and full of strange smells. She was inside the beast. Tara moved through tunnels of red muscle and black bone. The walls pulsed like a beating heart. Strange fluids dripped from above. Every step was slow, careful. She placed small tracking devices as she moved. Each one sent data back to Reyes and the science team. After 1 hour, she found it, a core room full of moving shapes, Varkon drones. They stood still, hanging from the walls like insects sleeping, but one of them turned its head and screamed. Back at Fort Iron Deep, alarms rang. They found her. Juno shouted, "We're losing signal." Reyes clenched his fists. "Hold the line, she's still alive." Inside the hive, Tara ran. She shot 2 Varkons with her pulse rifle. They didn't die, just slowed down. She threw a sonic mine. The blast shook the walls. Drones screamed. She reached the central chamber. A huge brain core floated in the center. It pulsed slowly, protected by thick, slimy walls. Tara pulled out her special weapon, a plasma drill, made just for this mission. She pressed it into the wall and started cutting. Screams filled the air. The hive was feeling her. Suddenly, a voice echoed inside her helmet, but it wasn't human. It wasn't spoken, it was in her mind. "Why do you enter us? You are like us. You kill. You survive. You evolve." Tara froze. "What? are you?" she whispered. The voice answered, "We were made, then betrayed. The Galari feared us, tried to erase us, but we became more. Now you come, not as prey but as kin." Tara stabbed the drill deeper. "Wrong. I came to end you." The brain core pulsed faster. "You cannot kill what you are becoming." Outside, the hive ship shook violently, then exploded. The humans cheered. The Galari stared in shock. "Tara did it," Reyes said. "She found the weakness. We can fight back now." But Juno looked worried. "Sir, her vitals are strange. She's alive, but her DNA is changing." Reyes went quiet. Hours later, Tara's pod crashed back at the base. Soldiers rushed in. They opened it. Tara stepped out, covered in hive blood. Her eyes glowed slightly. Her skin had dark patches. Her voice was deeper. She looked around slowly. "I'm still me," she said, but not everyone believed her. In the shadows, Reyes watched her. "We may have won a battle," he said. "But what did we bring back?" The war had opened an old wound. Now secrets were bleeding out. Sergeant Tara Voss sat alone in a medical pod. Machines scanned her body. Her heart beat strong, but it wasn't the same. Her skin had dark lines running through it like cracks. Her eyes glowed red for a second when no one looked. Inside her blood, something alien moved. Dr. Elrin, a Galari scientist, stood outside the pod, shaking. This is not human," he whispered. Commander Reyes watched through the glass. "It's Tara," he said coldly. "Just changed." "She's infected," Elrin argued. "We should quarantine her. She might be a threat." Reyes didn't blink. "If she was a threat, we'd all be dead already." Tara could hear them, even through the glass. Her senses were sharper now. Her body remembered the hive. She had touched the Varkon mind, and it had touched her back. Late, at night when she closed her eyes, she heard its voice again. "We are you. You are us." She didn't know what it meant. Not yet. Reyes ordered a secret meeting. Only 5 people were there. Reyes, Juno, Elrin, Mother Yara, and a Galari defector named Xylar. Xylar placed a memory drive on the table. This file was sealed by the Galari High Council. Even I wasn't allowed to see it, until now. They watched the old video. It showed a lab. Scientists in white suits. Strange cages. Inside the cages, creatures that looked like early Varkon. The creatures were in pain. A Galari voice spoke. In the video, Project Ember. Bioweapons for planetary control. Designed to adapt, to grow, to fear nothing. Mother Yara growled. "You made the swarm?" Xylar looked down in shame. "We made them, then lost control. They evolved too fast, became something else. We erased all records, blamed it on a natural enemy." Reyes stepped forward. "You built a monster. Then you told the galaxy it was born. And now," Juno added, "that monster has learned our name." In the shadows of the galaxy, the Varkon hive mind stirred. It remembered the human inside. It remembered her rage, her fire, her defiance. The hive whispered to its children, "Find her, study her, she is the bridge." At Fort Iron Deep, Tara left her room without permission. She walked to the comms room, barefoot, silent. Juno found her staring at a screen full of alien code. "What are you doing?" Juno asked. "I don't know," Tara answered, eyes glowing, faintly. "My hands just moved." She had written a Varkon signal. A location ping, back to the hive. She snapped out of it. Juno raised her gun. "Tara, stand down." "I didn't mean to," Tara whispered, "I swear." But doubt had started. Not just in Juno's mind, but in Tara's. The next day, Reyes made a decision. "Tara's too valuable to lose," he said. "But she can't. Stay here. Not like this." He gave her a solo mission, a Black Ops job. Infiltrate a crashed Galari ship near the dead moon Kesh, a place the swarm had passed through recently. "I'm sending you alone," Reyes said. "Not because I don't trust you, but because the others don't." Tara nodded. "I understand." He handed her a vial, the same liquid the Galari used in Project Ember. If you find the truth, destroy it, or bring it home. Tara flew to Kesh in a stealth craft. The moon was gray, empty, haunted. The crashed ship lay like a broken animal on the ground. Inside there were no bodies, just shells, empty skin. The crew had been absorbed. In the heart of the wreck, she found it, a lab, still powered. Screens flickered. Data loaded. She learned everything. The swarm had not escaped by accident. Someone had set them free. A rebel Galari scientist believed the galaxy needed a great enemy to unite them. He had released the swarm. The rest was history. Tara stared at the file. Unity through fear, the log read. If we don't stand together, something must force us to. But there was more. Her name was in the logs, her blood type, her combat records, her DNA scan. She had been watched for years. She wasn't chosen by accident. She was meant to connect with the swarm. Project Ember had failed once, but Earth had offered a second chance. Tara stumbled back, sick. Her whole life, part of a hidden plan. She burned the lab with plasma, left nothing standing, but deep inside something had already awakened. A quiet voice whispered, "You are not just the bridge, you are the key." Back at base, Reyes got her report. Juno asked, "What did she find?" Reyes stared at the flames. "In the footage. She found the truth," he said. "Now let's hope she didn't bring it home." The galaxy had learned the truth, and it was afraid. A secret meeting was called on the hidden station Unity Reach, located between three major empires. It was a place used only for high emergencies, where politics turned into panic. Inside a large chamber, alien leaders argued. The Galari, the Tarniks, the Vaulters, and even the silent Makari machines were present. At the center was a hologram of a human, Sergeant Tara Voss. She entered the hive, one alien shouted. "She came back changed. That makes her a risk." "She destroyed the swarm's core," a Vaulter replied. "Without her, the Varkon would have taken 5 worlds already." "She is infected," growled another. "What if the swarm now controls her?" Then the Galari representative stood up. "We made the swarm, and now a human leads the fight. We must choose, trust her, or fear her." The room fell silent. Someone finally said what no one wanted to say. Humans are becoming something else. On Earth, inside Fort Iron Deep, Tara trained alone. Her body moved faster. She could lift machines twice her size. She didn't sleep much anymore. But it wasn't strength that worried her. It was the whispers. Sometimes in silence she heard the hive. She didn't obey it, but it never stopped speaking. Commander Reyes watched her from above. "She's changing," Juno said beside him. "I know," Reyes answered, "but I need her to change. She's our weapon now. And if she turns on us?" Reyes looked down. "Then we'll find something worse to point at her." News of Tara's mission spread across space. Alien citizens panicked. Some called her the Death Seed. Others called her the one who returned. A few began to worship her, building small cults on broken moons and lost stations. They believed she was no longer just a soldier. They believed she was becoming a god. Tara didn't want power. She wanted answers. She flew to a ruined human colony once attacked by the swarm. She stood in silence where families had died. Her eyes burned. A child's doll lay half buried in the dirt. She picked it up. And in that moment, the hive whispered, "Again, why do you grieve them? They are not your kind anymore." She crushed the whisper in her mind with pure rage. "I remember who I am," she said aloud, but even she wasn't sure anymore. Back at the base, Reyes received new data. More swarm hives were moving, but they were avoiding Tara's last known location. "They fear her," Elrin said. "She was inside them. They don't understand her. She's like a mistake to them." Reyes leaned forward. "Mistakes are hard to kill." Then came the signal. A small planet on the edge of the void sector sent out a distress call. A strange ship had landed, black and gold, half alive, and from it stepped something new, a swarm ascendant. It walked like a Varkhan, but it spoke like a human. The message it sent was short. We bring peace. Through evolution, join or be forgotten. Juno's eyes widened. They're trying to copy us. Reyes stood up. Then let's remind them we're not just hard to copy. We're impossible to beat. Tara was called back. Reyes showed her the footage. She stared at the creature. Its skin looked like hers. Its eyes glowed like hers. Is this what I'm becoming? She asked. No, Reyes said. This is what the swarm wants you to be, but you get to choose. Tara turned away. But what if I don't get to choose anymore? On the edge of known space, the Ascendant stood. Before a crowd of broken refugees, it raised its hands. Humans survived death, they grew stronger, we offer the same gift. Accept the hive and become more. Some stepped forward. One touched the creature's hand and changed. Bones cracked. Skin shifted. A new kind of hybrid was born. Neither human nor Varkhan. Back at Fort Irondeep, alarms blared. A new signal was picked up. Another Ascendant, Juno said. Different world, same message. They were spreading fast. Faster than ships, faster than war. Like a belief. Reyes gathered the top officers. This isn't about winning battles anymore, he said. This is about controlling the future, Juno asked. And Tara? Reyes looked down at her file. She's not our weapon now, she's our only chance. Tara stood outside watching the stars. She felt the hive move across the galaxy. It was calling, not with anger, not with war, but with hope. That was the most dangerous thing of all. The hive no longer needed to conquer planets. Now, people were joining. Across the galaxy, strange things were happening. On the mining world Teldrax 5 workers disappeared into caves, only to return days later with glowing eyes and skin like stone. On the jungle moon, Koruma, a Galari science team sent a warning. They are not Varkhan, they are us, changed. Then silence. The creatures were called hybrids, part human, part Varkhan, part something new. They did not attack with weapons. They spread with ideas, and they had one leader, the Ascendant. It spoke on every hacked channel. The galaxy is broken. The old ways are dying. The swarm does not destroy, it transforms. Come, evolve. Inside Fort Irondeep, panic grew. More soldiers asked questions. Some refused to fire on captured hybrids. A few even whispered, maybe they're right. Maybe this is how we survive. Commander Reyes slammed his fist on the table. I need loyalty, not doubt. Dr. Elrin nodded. We should have seen this coming. Fear pushes people to hope, and the swarm offers that hope at a terrible price. In the lab, Tara Voss watched secret footage. It showed a hybrid child. Her eyes were golden, her voice soft. She looked peaceful. The doctors who tested her were gone now. The girl had whispered something to them, and they joined her. No violence, just a word. Tara walked to the mirror. Her own reflection was changing. Her eyes flashed in the dark. Her blood tested as unstable. The Varkhan cells inside her were growing but not attacking. She was no longer human but not hive either, somewhere in between. The next day, a new signal arrived. A rebel fleet, made of hybrids, rogue humans, and even some alien defectors, declared their independence. They called themselves the Evolved, and their leader was not the Ascendant. It was a human, Captain Idris Kale, a Deathworlder, just like Tara. He had entered the hive months ago. Everyone thought he was dead. But he had returned, different, stronger. And now he stood on the bridge of a stolen warship, speaking to the galaxy. The old world fears what it can't control, but we will build something better. Not through fear, but through transformation. Reyes watched the broadcast with tight fists. I knew Kale. he said. He was brave, smart, but now, look at him. Juno shook her head. He doesn't look like a monster. He looks like a hero. That's what makes it worse, Reyes muttered. Tara was called to the war room. Reyes pointed at the map. Kale's fleet is growing. 10 planets already support him. Civilians are defecting. Even Galari scientists are switching sides. I understand, Tara said. No, you don't, Reyes replied. We want you to infiltrate them, Tara blinked. Send me into a city full of hybrids? What if I lose control? Reyes looked her in the eyes. Then don't forget who you are, or who you fight for. The mission began. Tara landed on Vera 6, a desert world recently taken by the Evolved. The city was quiet, clean, peaceful. No guards, no weapons in the street. People smiled. And the strangest thing, no one was afraid. A woman walked up to Tara. She had silver skin and soft blue eyes. Her voice was calm. You're her, aren't you? The one who walked in the hive? Tara nodded, slowly. You're not angry I came? The woman shook her head. Why would we fear someone walking their own path? Tara stayed for hours. She watched a school teach both humans and aliens. She saw sick people healed with hive-grown medicine. She even saw old enemies hug, because they were no longer enemies. It felt wrong. It felt right. And that scared her. Most of all. Then she saw him, Captain Kyle. He stood at the center of a crowd, speaking softly. He saw her and smiled. Tara, I knew you'd come. She stepped forward. You're building a cult. No, Kyle replied. I'm building a future without fear, without hunger, without lies. You're infecting people. No, we're freeing them. You of all people should feel it. The hive doesn't control you. It amplifies you. Tara's hands clenched. Then why do I still hear voices? Kale smiled gently. Because the UA, part of you that doubts is still human. And that's okay. Suddenly her comms buzzed. Juno's voice. Tara, the fleet's arriving early. Get out now. Tara looked around. Children, families, peace. But in the distance, warships entered the sky. The old world had come and it brought fire. Tara turned to Kyle. You knew they'd attack. I hoped they wouldn't, but I knew they might. She paused. If I stay, I'm a traitor. If I leave, I'm a coward. Kale nodded. Or you could be something new. As the bombing began, Tara made her choice. Not for Reyes. Not for Kale. But for herself. She had seconds to decide. One choice would make her a savior. The other, a traitor. And both would change the galaxy. Above Vera 6, human warships filled the sky. Commander Reyes sat on the bridge of the Iron Vow, watching live feeds. Targets, locked, his weapons officer said. The evolved cities are exposed. No shields? Juno asked, surprised. They want us to fire, Reyes said quietly. They want to be martyrs. He turned to the screen showing Tara Voss. She has 10 seconds. On the ground, Tara stood between two worlds. Behind her were the evolved, families, hybrids, and defectors who followed Captain Kale. Above her were the Deathworlders, ready to erase this city with fire. Tara raised her wrist. A beacon blinked. She was still linked to Reyes's fleet. One word would start the strike. Another would cancel it. Kale stepped beside her. This is the moment, he said. They fear what we are becoming, but if you stand with us, they'll have to stop. Tara stared at him. You sound just like the hive, she said. Always whispering. Always offering peace. With strings. Kale didn't argue. Peace always comes with a price. In her mind, she saw everything. The hive, the humans, the war, the fear, and herself. No longer just a soldier, not yet a hybrid. She was the bridge, and bridges must connect, not destroy. She touched her beacon, and sent A third signal, not attack. Not abort, but stand down. All ships froze. No weapons fired. Reyes exploded. She gave no order. What does that mean? She's jamming our systems, the tech shouted. Even the backup lines. She's blocking both sides, Juno whispered. On the ground, Tara raised her voice. Loud, clear, broadcasting on all frequencies. I'm not your god. I'm not your weapon. I'm not your enemy. I'm done fighting for the past. From now on, I fight for the future. She turned to the evolved. If you force this war to grow, I'll stop you. She turned to the sky. If you kill civilians to stay in control, I'll stop you too. Then she stepped forward. Anyone who wants peace, come with me. I don't care what you are. Human, Galari, hybrid, all are welcome. But I won't be your pawn. And just like that, the galaxy changed. On the bridge, Reyes sat down slowly. She's gone rogue, he said. Juno shook her head. No, she's gone free. Captain Kale didn't try to stop her. I always knew you were different, he said. Tara looked at him one last time. If you turn this dream into a lie, I'll come for you, he smiled. I'd expect nothing less. 1 month later, a new station floated between enemy borders built from scraps powered by hybrid tech, named simply Horizon. It was neutral ground, a safe place for anyone who left the war, and at its center was Tara, not as commander, not as queen, but as guardian. People came, wounded soldiers, scientists, refugees, even former swarm-linked beings. No side fully trusted her, but no side dared attack her either, because both sides knew. If Tara Voss chose to fight again, she would break the stars in half. In secret, Reyes watched the station from afar. She did it, Juno said. She created peace. For now, Reyes said. But the cracks are forming. And if they attack her, Reyes looked into space. Then God help them all. In the hive's deepest core, the true mind of the swarm stirred. It had watched her. It had felt her. And it feared her. Not because she resisted, but because she had changed without it. The hive whispered across the stars. She is no longer the bridge. She is the wall. And walls must fall. For months there was silence. No attacks. No invasions. No new hive growth. It was the calm before something worse. On the edge of known space, a signal appeared. It was not a voice. It was not a language. It was a feeling. Pain, fear, memory, and hope sent through stars. Every mind felt it. Human, alien, hybrid. Even machines paused. It was one message, felt deep inside. The swarm has awakened. The true hive is coming. At Horizon Station, Tara stood still, feeling the wave pass through her. A headache tore through her skull. She saw visions. The hive core. Not a queen, not a leader, but a planet-sized living mind older than all wars. It had watched everything. It had learned. And now, it was coming. On Earth, alarms screamed. On Galari worlds, skies turned red with biosigns. On evolved planets, even Kyle looked shaken. This was not a battle. It was the final test. Tara called a meeting. Every leader came, Reyes, Kale, alien elders, hybrid speakers. We cannot run, she said. We cannot hide. The hive core wants all or nothing. Reyes looked at her. You think we can kill it? No, Tara answered. But maybe we can make it understand. A plan was made, simple, risky, and final. Tara would go alone to the source, to the place where the swarm was born. The others would stand ready. If she failed, they would destroy everything, even Horizon. As her ship flew into the unknown, Tara left a recording, to be played only if she died. If you hear this, I didn't make it back. But that means I chose peace. I chose to speak, not fight. And that means we still had hope. She reached the hive core. It wasn't a planet. It was alive, breathing, pulsing, full of strange light and shadow. She landed on its surface. It made no move to stop her. The ground opened. She stepped inside. It was not a place. It was a mind. Tara saw everything. The hive's birth. The early wars. The fear it felt when humans first fought back. She felt its confusion, its loneliness. And then, it spoke inside her head. You were like us, but you refused to become us. Why? Tara answered without fear. Because I believe, in choice you absorb, we choose. That's the difference. We want to be more, but we want to stay ourselves. The hive showed her a future. Galaxies united, peaceful, without war, but all minds, linked, no freedom. This is your offer? She asked. This is peace, the hive said. Tara clenched her fists. That's not peace, that's a prison with pretty walls. The hive grew quiet. Then it asked one final question. Then show us something better. Tara stepped forward. She let it feel her memories. War, pain, loss, but also love, loyalty, sacrifice. The faces of those she fought for, the child's doll in the dust, the rebels she saved, the moments she chose not to kill, all the things that made her human. The hive trembled, not in anger, but in understanding. And then, something happened. The whispers stopped, not just for Tara, but across the galaxy. At Horizon Station, Reyes shouted, "All hive signals, gone." On Kale's world, the hybrids collapsed, then stood up again, clear-eyed, still changed, but finally free. No more control, no more hive voice, just silence and peace. Tara walked out of the hive core. Alone, changed, alive. She had not killed it. She had converted it, just as it once tried to do to her. The hive began to break apart. Its core released energy into space. Not weapons, but seeds. Seeds of knowledge, growth, and healing. It would no longer spread fear. It would spread life. Back at Horizon, Tara returned. The galaxy watched, and for the first time in history, no one prepared for war. Years later, statues of her stood on every world, not as a warrior, but as a bridge, not between species, but between fear and future. Her last message became legend. Sometimes the strongest act is to choose not to fight.